Here we go, guys. SoFi's breaking out. Finally, the triangle that we called out's playing out. We're up around 3%, pushing $15 a share after we got the CPI data from May this morning, which, of course, we're going to break that down in this video and go over SoFi, the charts, what I'm looking to do, as obviously I own SoFi stock. So, guys, hit the like button. Do not forget to subscribe, join the free email stock newsletter, and check out my Patreon for my weekly portfolio updates. Those are linked down below. And with that being said, guys, cheers. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Take a sip of your coffee as always, and let's dive into it. So as of right now, 12:45 p.m. East Coast time, pretty much halfway through the day, SoFi's up 2.7%, trading just under $15 a share. And about an hour ago, we actually almost hit $15 a share. We hit $14.98. That was at about, I think, like 11:30, 11 a.m. East Coast time. Now we're selling off a little bit from that point, but still up around 3%. And at one point, we were up around 4%. And this is after we got the CPI data this morning, which showed that inflation, well, is looking better than what analysts were expecting. We'll talk about that here in a minute, so make sure you guys stick on throughout this entire video. And you're noticing the triangle that we called out, the ascending triangle, is playing out. You're seeing it here on the 1 hour time frame. You're noticing we're breaking out of 1450. We were making higher lows into that resistance. Now, boom, we're starting to break out just like we called out, right? And on the 4 hour time frame, you're really starting to see it. And at this point, SoFi's trading pretty much at a multi-month high. We haven't been anywhere near $15 since the end of February, which at this point, that's about like 3.5 months ago, right? So if we're able to get that push over $15 a share, right, which we almost did earlier, we failed, but we'll see if it retests either later today, some point tomorrow. If we're able to take that $15 mark out, guys, on the charts here, like I've been saying, it's really going to go nuts, in my opinion. And now we're just seeing the early stages of the breakout. You got to realize that as we're peaking out of 1450, trying to get over 15. So buckle up, man. I'm obviously long SoFi. I actually sold $16 covered calls yesterday, which now I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But I'm still in them. I'm going to hold on to those, and I could always obviously buy to close, right? If I want to keep my shares, we'll discuss that, as the days go on. Those expire in about 3-4 weeks. So we'll talk about that, in future updates, but I'm still in those covered calls I sold, right? And obviously I'm still in SoFi stock, holding on tight, man, holding on tight at this point. So let's go over CPI. And by the way, as I was making the first half of this video, or as we were just talking, SoFi is now up to 1485 almost. We're starting to get more momentum here on the intraday. So maybe a breakout into the second half of the day is coming here, man. We shall see. Time will tell. Of course, if you're watching this later in the day, well, you'll already know what SoFi did. Let me know in the comments down below. But let's break down inflation, CPI, all that stuff. So let me pull that up. And by the way, as I'm doing this, run the likes up. Make sure to subscribe. I appreciate you all. You guys are awesome. Without you, this would not be possible. I mean, it's the reality. If no one was watching these videos, hey, what's the point of making them, right? But look, U.S. inflation rises 0.1% in May from prior month, reads the headline here, less than expected. So if we come down here a little bit, let me scroll down. Okay, so we can see CPI prices rose less than expected in May as President Donald Trump's tariffs have not yet shown significant impact on inflation. And we can see here the monthly number increased 0.1%. The annualized number was 2.4%, and economists surveyed by Dow Jones had been looking for respective readings of 0.2%, right? Again, the monthly number came in at 0.1 and 2.4% for the annual. So the monthly number came in under the expectation, right? And the annual number is right there, 2.4%. And you guys can see here, if I zoom out a little bit, right? This is the chart of the U.S. Consumer Price Index. Might as well make my big old head a bit smaller so you guys can see what's going on here. And yeah, I mean, this is a chart of it coming down big time. And these are the monthly numbers, right? Yeah, month-to-month percentage change. And whenever people are like, oh, Jerome Powell, he's got to get out. You got to fire the guy. Got to let him go because he's not doing whatever Trump wants him to do. I'm like, look at this chart. This is a lot this happened a lot due to what Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve did. So you got to give credit where credit is due. The CPI has come down a lot. Inflation's come down a lot. At one point, it almost hit 10% on the CPI. Now we're at 2.4%. Guys, Jerome Powell, hate him, love him. If you're indifferent about him, you got to give him credit. You got to be like, yo, Jerome Powell did a really good job. He brought down inflation. So whenever I see the the bashing of Powell online, and it's really just from these Trump stands that say Trump can do no wrong, you know what I mean? But it's like, dude, Jerome Powell, yeah, I mean, you can criticize anybody. Yeah, everybody, nobody's perfect, right? Everybody has some flaws, but you got to give the guy credit. He's done a pretty good job, right? And his job is to, run the Federal Reserve, obviously, but it's also to be independent from the government, right? He's not supposed to just bow down to Trump and do whatever Trump does. All hail Trump, right? That's not the point. Jerome Powell is supposed to run the Fed, and it's a separate entity, right? Or however you want to put it. They're not supposed to commingle, you know what I mean? And excluding food and energy, the core CPI came in respectively at 0.1% and 2.8%, compared with forecasts for 0.3% and 2.9%. So core CPI came in much better than expected, right? 0.1% on the month versus 0.3% expected, and the annualized number 2.8 versus 2.9 expected. Very, very good there. And Federal Reserve officials consider core a better measure of long-term trends, with several expressing concerns recently over the impact that tariffs would have on inflation. So these numbers are good. These numbers are good, but you guys have to realize tariffs aren't in these numbers yet, or they're not being included yet. So we'll see in the coming months, right, how these numbers change. Maybe we do get a spike. It's possible, which is why Jerome Powell and the Fed, they're not so eager to cut rates like Trump wants him to right now. You know what I mean? That's why a big reason why Powell's kind of staying steady, because we don't know really the impact of tariffs on inflation, how bad it's going to be, or maybe it's not going to be that bad. We got to wait and see approach, which is why, again, Powell's not rushing like a madman now to cut the rates, which I'm really on board with, right? I don't want him to cut rates like crazy quite yet, especially because that's inflationary and tariffs are inflationary. We've covered this many times. So energy slipped 1% on the month, while new and used vehicle prices posted respective declines of 0.3 and 0.5%, and food increased 0.3%, as did shelter, which the BLS said was the primary factor in the otherwise modest CPI increase, and egg prices, which a lot of people like to focus on, right, fell 2.7%, but we're still up 41.5% from a year ago, and apparel posted a 0.4% drop. And although shelter prices rose on the month, the 3.9% annual increase is the lowest rate since late 2021. Interesting, right? Very interesting. So that's a quick rundown on CPI, inflation. So that's definitely a big reason why certain stocks are moving. The indexes are not really, exploding per se, but they are up nicely. We have the S&P up. Well, actually, it's not up a crazy amount. It was up more earlier, right? Wasn't it? Yeah, in the pre-market, it was up to 606. SPY was. Now it's at 603, up around 20 cents, so not much really at all. Pretty much at break even. Slightly green for SPY, and QQQ, same thing, slightly green. It was up more in the pre-market. The Dow Jones up around 0.3%. Pretty good day for the Dow. Up about 150 points. Not bad. As the Russell is up a quarter of a percent. Not bad. 4 points in the green for the Russell, and this was up more, about 10 points more earlier in the day. So what do you guys think about SoFi, CPI, all that? And oh my goodness, I just realized OKLO, on a side note, oh my gosh, it just caught my eye. What the heck? OKLO's up 25% today. My goodness, man. All-time high, $67 per share. Holy moly, man. OKLO selected as intended awardee to provide clean, reliable power to Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska. Wow. I have to look deeper into this, but it looks like they're going to provide nuclear power to Air Force Base after a 2-year delay. The stock's up 30% as of that post from Barron's. Geez, man, that's insane. Maybe I'll make a video on that later, but oh man. Wow. With that being said, guys, oh man, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe. Feel free to join my free email stock newsletter. Check out the Patreon if you guys want to keep up with what I'm doing in my portfolio. I'm posting all my moves every week, options trades, stocks I'm buying, the performance of the portfolio, which as of now, we're crushing the market, guys. We're destroying the S&P. I think the Patreon portfolio's up 55% in the last year, where the S&P's up like 12, 13%, something like that. Even year to date, Patreon portfolio's up like 15%. S&P's up 3, 4%, something like that. I looked at the returns yesterday, so if you guys want to be a part of it, check it out. Link down below. And with that being said, cheers. I'll catch you in the next video.